Hey folks, thank you for tuning in to our anti-smoking podcast. Today we have a very special guest, a close friend of mine who I've shared cigarettes with. We both are smokers and we're trying to quit right now. And we're hoping we're successful in this attempt. Her name is Ellen. Thank you for coming, Ellen. It's nice to have you here.
Thank you. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. So Ellen, you know why we're here today. We want to talk about smoking and how that has a very negative impact on ourselves and how we're planning to quit. This is in hope that our listeners can feel inspired to quit themselves. What do you think about this idea?
I think it's definitely an important thing, and it's such a struggle. But if you can quit smoking, you're making such an improvement in your life. It's important for health reasons, but also it's just not a good habit. Think of all the money you're spending on cigarettes, especially, and the time you could spend doing other things.
It's a very valid point. Can I ask you, how long have you been smoking for?
I've been smoking for about 5 years now, off and on.
Okay. Have you ever tried to quit in that time?
It's actually only recently that I've realized that it's really important. But I would definitely say there were times when I think my body was trying to tell me that I needed to quit, and I started to realize that I needed to quit. But I never actively tried. So now I am, and I'm hoping to be successful.
Have you ever noticed any part of your health that has reacted due to your habit of smoking?
Absolutely. I think sometimes when I smoke too much, it seems like I'm like short of breath, or I definitely will feel dizzy sometimes. I really don't know why I do it. It's really not a good thing for my health at all.
Why did you start smoking? I'm sure, so if you say 5 years ago from today, you must be a sophomore in high school. Why did you start smoking at that young age? What prompted you to smoke?
It was funny because in middle school and elementary school, I just never thought I would be one of those kids that smoked cigarettes. But then in high school, I was definitely changing my opinions about things, and my friends were smoking. So, that's always the way it is, and so I started smoking with them. I don't really regret that I did that. I just hope that now I'm able to quit.
Okay. At any point, did you feel that the act of smoking was fashionable because of the way the media projects the activity, in terms of, say, a movie star who's smoking, or
Well, I'm not really that in tune to celebrities and like what they do with their own lives, but I would definitely say that in the movies, it's portrayed in a lot of movies. It's portrayed as something that's very chic and very cool. So there are lots of people that they don't like the actual smoke at all, but they just love the feel of like the cigarette in their hand, and makes you feel like a cool person. So, but I think that's something you need to fight against because it's really not, it's really not something that's cool.
Mm-hmm. And so again, you're saying it's not something that's cool. So definitely the reason you're smoking is because it's hard to give the habit up, as opposed to when you started smoking, when you thought it was a cool activity. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think I've changed my mind a little bit about, I used to think, I'm young, I can smoke however much I want, I'll just quit eventually. But, after 5 years, you sort of start to realize that that's become like a real habit. So it's not just something you do every now and then. So I started to realize, okay, now that it's like actually becoming a part of my lifestyle, and that's not what I want. So okay. I've had to rethink it.
Okay. So part of this assignment that I'm doing this semester is about smoking on campus at the University of Maryland. And as you know, the campus has declared a ban on smoking. What do you think about this? Do you think it's justified or it's not?
Well, I see where they're going with it. I see why they want to, and I've definitely noticed, like, let's see, so before it was always, you had to be, I think it was it 10 feet or 20 feet away from buildings when you were smoking, something like that, and that was totally understandable. I'm not sure about this new thing, but then again, personally, maybe it'll be good for me. So I think, if I think about it objectively, ironically, if I think about it objectively, I'm not so sure that I like it for certain reasons, because in American culture, smoking is looked down upon a lot, which is because in some ways we're very health oriented. But in other ways, in other cultures, it's not as it's much more a part of life. So I'm worried that this prejudice is almost going to become a cultural prejudice. But other than that, when I think about it, from my point of view, I'm sure it'll help me a lot to quit smoking as a student on campus. So not being able to smoke on campus, I'm never going to want to walk all the way off campus to smoke. That's just going to be ridiculous. It takes way too much time. So, I mean, maybe it's a good thing. Maybe lots of students will quit because of this new campus ban.
Okay. Thank you for sharing your views. Again, thank you for taking your time out. Before closing, I just want to ask you for your advice to people who are trying to quit right now, who may be on the same boat as you. How would you encourage someone to quit?
Well, okay, so I read something recently about goal setting, and and that sort of struck me, and this is that if you can do something for 21 days, then you can do it forever, which I thought was really interesting. I never really seen goal setting put like that before. So I think if you can just really work hard for 21 days to not smoke, that's, one way to start. Just like think, okay, if I can just get through this 21 days and then realize, it's really not that important. Another thing you can do is like smoking is since it's such a social activity, it's all about who you hang out with. So you can definitely try to avoid people that smoke, avoid going, I don't know, to the store where you usually buy your cigarettes, or avoid, just don't get yourself into those situations where you might think about it. Also, if you make you can try to make major changes in your life. And if you just change your lifestyle, then maybe that'll just make you forget about smoking in general. It's often major transitions in your life where you can sort of reevaluate where you are and make changes. So that's one idea. If you're moving to a new place soon, that's probably a good way to start. Just since there's already a major transition going on in your life, you can use that to change other things.
I think they were very valuable insights. Again, thank you for taking the time out and talking to our listeners.
Thank you.
I hope through this entire podcast, with Ellen's interview and the rest of my argument, it makes some sense that smoking is definitely not cool, and it's an activity that's akin to digging your own grave. All right, that's it for now. Thank you.